So our initial meeting at the boot camp, we anticipated that we were going to make £160,000.
That figure is actually 320,000, which means our next year's annual turnover will be in excess of £1 million. At the beginning, it was just me and Cam working from a serviced office, but that had to change really quickly because we soon realized our business was growing rapidly and we needed to be on the high street.
Once we moved into our office, everything was great. We were running steady for about 8 years, but then it changed. The tenant fee ban was introduced.
We started panicking. We didn't know what to do.
The tenant fee ban literally would have wiped out all our profits.
We stood to lose just over £100,000. That meant cutting staff, cutting our marketing budget, advertising budget. For us to cut staff, it would emotionally it will be devastating to us because our staff are like our family. We were not prepared to do that, so we had to find a solution. There was no option in the matter. One day I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I think it was around March 2017, and I came across the tenant fee ban advert, and I thought to myself, I have to go into this course because we need to find a solution to the problem that we're facing.
We've been to so many one-day courses, so we were very mindful of what we were going to take away with us from that one-day course. One thing that I wanted to take away was if there was any loopholes that Sally could come out with. And obviously that was made clear pretty much that there weren't any loopholes.
When I met Sally for the first time, I thought, wow, she really brings some energy to the room, and it was exciting, it was fun. When she told me that I should be charging for things that I've traditionally been doing for free, I thought she was crazy, to be honest with you. I thought that's just nuts. Changing the mindset, I would say, is probably the hardest thing for anyone to do. Traditionally no one likes changing, but you had to survive, otherwise we'd be extinct.
I was really motivated, I was really ready to go and make the changes. The only problem that we had as a business was to set time aside to make these changes, because if we were going to make these changes were going to be for the long term.
At that point, we were both running around from the old office to the new office, liaising with suppliers, and there was a lot going on. Cam was on holiday for a few weeks at the same time, and I had a shortage of staff. The existing staff had a lot of pressure, I had a lot of pressure, and at that point I thought, you know what, is it worth doing the business? Is it worth all this aggravation, having all of this and not having the staff to run it? I was at a point where I was gonna just pop like a balloon. It was bad. I was on the phone to Cam and I was saying, Cam, I'm getting stressed out at this situation. And Cam was like, calm down. I'm going to be back in a week. Just put up with it for a little bit longer, and when I get back, we'll handle it the right way.
Yeah, so the day that I came back, Satish was really upset and he needed a bit of calming down. So what we did was we sat in our office and we made a plan to see how we actually going to implement these changes.
After becoming part of the inner circle, I quickly learned and I saw firsthand what other agents were implementing and the type of numbers they were generating from just charging for things that we were doing for free. And it helped me overcome the fear, to implement these strategies, because once I'd done my numbers, I could see that I was leaving well over 100K on the table, and that's work that we do right now for free. We both decided basically that, we're just not going to come back to the office until all of this is implemented, because we're just going around in the same circle.
What we did is that we took 2 weeks out where we were doing half days and we weren't in the office. We were solely focusing on how we're going to be implementing the strategies that we've learned. We started implementing it, and then the other half days we were back in the office, making sure that the office was running smoothly and there was no stress or no tension in the office.
Once we implemented the strategy, it felt refreshing. We felt like business owners again, as opposed to, a slave to the business, a prisoner to the business, because that's historically what we were. We
had more time to spend with our families. I haven't been on a holiday for about 2 years, so I booked our first family holiday, went away for 2 weeks. I was more relaxed. When I came back to the office, I knew that everything was handled in a professional manner. I wouldn't come back to problems.
And also, when everything is structured, everyone's trained to deal with issues, you as business owners can work on the business and not in the business all the time, which is a great feeling.
We don't do anything for free now. There is a value in everything that we do. So our initial meeting at the boot camp, we anticipated that we were going to make £160,000 by implementing all the strategies.
After crunching numbers, that figure is actually 320,000, which means our next year's annual turnover will be in excess of £1 million, which is fantastic news for us as a business.
Now our focus is to open more branches, carry out landlord seminars, and do acquisitions.
We've had amazing growth, but we're not done yet. We're going to hit that million and more.